Tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us "Need Software" to 213-640. Are you tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us "Need Software" to 213.
Dead-end job for years and have been depressed. But then a friend recommended a book reading Guide to Being Black.
If you are, so currently
The author took me through scenarios and gave me tips, which took an hour. I practiced using Cloud Labs, got certified, revised my resume, applied for some IT contracts, and got the job. If you're looking to get into IT or even in the field, now this is a must-read book. Go to www.beingblackinit.com.
Boom. All right, we here. We in here. I hate when I'm on the road. I'm trying to run the ads and the ads are running janky. But we're here. We're here. We're here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Today's broadcast is also brought to you today by the Amiri Brown Show on YouTube. If you want to get into some intellectual discussions and topics ranging from dating, love, relationships to politics, white supremacy, economics, then tune into the Amiri Brown Show on YouTube. Make Black America Great Again or Die Trying. Check out Amiri Brown right here on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're here, man. How y'all doing, man? How's the family doing? Am I too loud? Because I see I'm peaking over here. How's my sound, guys? Am I a little bit too loud? I don't want to be too loud over here. I'm in Atlanta chilling. What's going on with y'all, man? I'm out here chilling in the beautiful Atlanta, loving it and enjoying it so far, man. Love Atlanta, love the vibe. Beautiful brothers and sisters out here in Atlanta, man. Very hospitable. I miss that Southern hospitality. Oh, the good food. I've been eating good. Nigga, I took a 3-hour nap. I have the itis. I ate some grits this morning, well, this early afternoon. Boy, I went to a spot and had some damn good old-fashioned grits and immediately got the itis. I had to come and lay down. But I'm in here. I'm in Atlanta. I'm getting ready for the Revolt Summit, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are coming out. The Revolt Summit, we got a killer panel. The panel is going to be a beast this Sunday. We're going to be talking about reparations at the Revolt Summit. You guys need to go to revoltsummit.com to get your tickets to come join us. We got a panel going on this Sunday. The panel is going to be me, hosted by Van Jones. No, not Van Jones. Van Lathan, not Jones. I'm sorry. Van Lathan, who used to be on TMZ. Van Lathan. Shout out to my brother Van Lathan. Real good brother. Solid brother. Van is going to be hosting. Who else is going to be there? It's going to be me, Teslin. Sister Teslin is going to be spitting hot fire. It's going to be Brother Reza Islam, and it's going to be Killer Mike. And some other people, but that's going to be a hell of a panel. You guys don't want to miss that. I see I'm freezing here. Y'all know how it is. Sometimes when you're at the hotel, you get the janky connections, but it is what it is at the hotels. Oh, man, a few things I want to talk about before the Wi-Fi and everything starts acting extra crazy. Before it starts getting real crazy. Hold on, let me see something here. All right. Because the Wi-Fi gets real funny sometimes when I'm on the road. Oh, man. So it's going to be a very good lineup. No, not the crying Van, the other Van. So what do we got to talk about, man? We're talking about Stockholm Syndrome today. I'm going to talk about Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome, for those who don't know, that's a situation where a person who's a captive or a hostage starts to identify and having sympathy for their captors. That happens to a lot of people who are colonized, who are sometimes enslaved, but who are held hostage, held in bondage, held in a subservient position, their minds get so battered, they end up having a compassion for the people who are colonizing them, usually as a coping mechanism. In order to deal with the subjugation, you try to identify with the person who's in a power position over you in order to cope with the fact. It's hard for people to cope to the fact that they are subjugated. They have to rationalize subjugation in some way. Yeah? Okay, who's this person in here trolling? Errol Spence Jr. All right, do we have any of our mods in here? All right. Do we have any of our mods in here? We got somebody in here just trolling stuff. Hold on, let me get him out of here. All right. Can I get him out? Okay. Yeah, if my mods can just get him all the way out of here. Errol Spence, you got to get up out of here. You just can't be in here trolling stuff. All right. So yeah, he's out. I had to get him myself. Where are my mods? Where are my moderators? Yeah, we got to get that cat out of here. Do it with my mods. I know I'm doing an early broadcast, but if my mods are somewhere around, come on through. You get some of these trolls up out of here. Some of these time-wasting trolls. But like I said, we're talking about people with Stockholm Syndrome. And there was something I saw today. I put it on my Twitter space, where there was a woman from Jamaica talking about why Jamaicans and Africans and Caribbeans and Africans talk badly and act badly towards foundational Black Americans. And I want you to listen to the narrative that she gave, because now, people are acknowledging. I'm going to speak on the LL Cool J thing. Don't worry, I got all that. People are acknowledging that there's a one-sided so-called diaspora war. People talk about a diaspora war, but it's one-sided. We, foundational Black Americans, we're not going to the diaspora. We're not going to Africa or the Caribbean, warring with the people, fighting with the people, insulting the people, eating and living off of their resources, and then talking badly about them. We're not doing that. So the so-called diaspora war is one-sided. But we have this woman here who's Jamaican, and she's going to give you a rundown on why she says that there is so much contempt and vitriol from people in the diaspora towards foundational Black Americans. I want y'all to listen to this woman here. Where are we at? Let me grab it real quick. Hold on. I should have had that for you. Hold on. Let me grab that. 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, let me grab that for you. Where we at? Where we at? Where the hell are we? Okay, here we go. Right here. All right. All right, now check this out. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on 1 second.
I need people to understand that one of the reasons that Jamaicans and other African diaspora people react to African Americans and talk about African Americans in a way they do is because this was taught to us by white America. This is part of what...
Let me let her finish.
I'm studying now in my graduate program. When they first started to recruit people to come to work here, right, about 5 or 6 decades ago, they told them that the African Americans were lazy people and they did not want to work. Meanwhile, at that time, it was because they didn't want to pay African Americans more money. They wanted to give them slavery wages. But African Americans were trying to hold out for more pay. Instead of paying African Americans more, what they did was recruit Black people from the Caribbean, at that time controlled by Britain. So it was very easy for them to convince Britain that, hey, send those people who are down there with no jobs to our country to work. And when they came here, the white farm owners and those agricultural people told them and ingrained in them that the reason that they have to come to work is because African Americans don't want a job. Right? And they carry the same message and told the people there. And so
Come on, janky service.
this is a trope that has been passed on for decades and decades, year after year, or more come. That is what they care, because that's what they have been told. Now, when you come and you live amongst African Americans, and if you really look into the history and look at the systemic racism, you'll know that is not true. But then you also realize how difficult it is when someone grew up and was taught a certain kind of saying or a certain kind of belief. It's very difficult to get it out of them. So I know that it is not true. I know that it's because people want decent wages for the work that they do. But yeah, it is absolutely true that a lot of Caribbean people, Jamaicans included, and other diaspora people have bought into this trope that African Americans are lazy.
Okay. There we go. All right, we're back. Sorry, guys. Again, I hate when the hotels be having janky Wi-Fi. It's going in and out. Hope y'all got all that. Hope y'all got the gist of what she was saying. And I say it's all cap. This whole narrative. Oh, where we at? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Y'all bear with me for a minute. Y'all bear with me. All right. Y'all bear with me. Hopefully this thing is going through correctly. All right. Sorry about that. The buffering. So, all right. So, the whole narrative. Yeah, we feel a certain way because it's undeniable at this point. It's undeniable that there's a one-sided diaspora war. And the problem is, see, we as foundational Black Americans, we've known about this. We've seen the vitriol. We've seen the hate. We've seen the jealousy. And for a long time, family, what we did was just dismiss it. We dismissed it. We're like, okay, it's whatever. And now we're at a point where we just don't want to dismiss it no more. We're starting to call that out. And it's not something that goes both ways. It's one-sided. We're calling out all of the disrespect, really because it's getting to the point where, we're starting to suffer because of all of the groups using and utilizing the resources that we fought for, and then turning around and not bringing anything to the table for us. Nobody's bringing anything to the table for us. Everything is just take. And we're looking like, damn, our pockets are getting real empty right now. The well is kind of running dry. But we're still allowing folks to take, and then show disrespect. So now we're like, hey, we got to slow down for a minute. We have to look out for foundational Black Americans. We have to look out for our needs. We have to look out for our resources. So now we're checking a lot of this stuff. We're starting to see that the white supremacists have put certain anti-FBA tethers in certain positions, political positions, and we think, okay, this person looks like us, so they must have our best interests, and we learned that they don't. So now we have to call it out, and they know we're calling it out. So some of them are coming clean. They're coming clean. They're like, yeah, we hate y'all, but the white man made us do it. No. We're not going for that narrative. Y'all not going to say it was the white man that made y'all feel a certain way about us. It's the white man who taught us that you were lazy. No. Family, no, that's a cop-out. That's a cop-out. That is a major cop-out. You know why? I'm waiting on this thing to buffer. I hate when it's doing this stuff here. Hold on. Yo, there we go. I'm back. I'm just waiting on this thing to buffer. I say it's a cop-out because, see, the same white supremacists, the same white man, the same white racists, they sat here and told us negative things about Caribbeans and Africans. They told us the same negative things and showed us the same negative images of you. They have portrayed you in a negative, funky way. They have portrayed you in a negative and derogatory way and said that you all disease-ridden, that you're all lazy. They say you're lazy too. They say that you have low IQs. They say that you can't build anything, that you're backwards, that you're running around starving and dusty. They told us that. And instead of us internalizing that, we said, no. That image that you're painting of them as a whole, we're not going to let you use that to turn us against these people. We said no. We still reached out. We still go over there and show respect. When we go to the Caribbean or the African diaspora, we don't go over there disrespecting the people based on stereotypes the white supremacists put forth. We go there like, hey, these are our brethren. We go out there reaching out, breaking bread, trying to see what we can do to assist the people in the diaspora. You have to understand, when many movements popped off in Africa, it was really us towing that line. They had a great interview with Jasmine Guy and Kadeem Hardison on the Breakfast Club, and they were talking about the show A Different World and some of the tough topics that they covered in the 80s. And a lot of people don't remember. I remember A Different World. They were talking about stopping apartheid, and that was a thing with us in the 80s. We were over here taking a stand against apartheid in South Africa. We said we don't like the way these white supremacists are treating our brothers over there. We were over here making noise about that. Even though they had these negative images of South Africans, we're like, no, those are still our brothers and sisters. We didn't internalize that and say, okay, we're going to feel a certain way about you because the white supremacists said so. No. We knew better. You see what I'm saying? So don't sit here and say the white supremacists made you a certain way. Why was it so easy for him to flip you? See, that's what I want to know. See, in order for the white supremacists to flip you like that, you must have harbored some of that funky energy anyway. All he did was play on the energy you already had. All the white supremacists did was play on the energy you already had. They saw something and they see a weakness. They said, hey, wait a minute, guys. These Africans and Caribbeans, they're kind of jealous of these foundational black Americans over here. They're jealous of our Negroes over here. They kind of feel a certain way. Oh, let's play on that. So all they did was play on the feelings you already had. Y'all had those feelings before, and it was based in jealousy. Remember, like I said, don't sit here and make it seem like, well, the Jamaicans and Africans and the Caribbeans came over here. White people said that blacks were lazy, so they went back and told everybody over there, hey, those niggas over there are lazy. Oh, let's hate them. Stop it. When Chief Alfred Sam, this was before y'all started coming over here in large numbers. This was in the early 1900s. He was over here running that Back to Africa scam. He was an immigrant from West Africa who came over here before Garvey, selling the Wakanda stuff. Hey, man, y'all blacks go to Africa, man. It's popping in Africa. You go to Africa, oh, man, there's diamonds in the streets. You ain't got to deal with no racism. Oh, whoop-de-whoop. So give me some money so I can help y'all go to Africa. So they gave him money. A handful of black people went over there, and they found out that the chiefs over there wouldn't even let them buy land. They're like, hey, you ain't one of us, so we ain't going to let you even buy the land. So a lot of black folks got finessed. This was before some white folks said anything. Don't let them run that game that the white folks brainwashed them. Stop it. Let's just keep it real and just talk history here. They were feeling a certain way about us. And we're sitting here trying to be on some global black stuff. They ain't really been on that. That's the long and short of it. And don't blame the white people. Y'all don't want to be on that. Because the Stockholm Syndrome. Y'all love white people over there in the diaspora. Let's keep it a buck. Y'all love these people. When white people show up, let's be real. The colonization is real. They think white people are God and Jesus in flesh when white people show up. Let's keep it a buck. Can we keep it a buck? A lot of you have been colonized over in the diaspora, and white people are Jesus and God to you. You there? So you identify with your captors and your oppressors hella heavy. We know that they're not our gods. We know. This is why we're so rebellious against them, and this is why a lot of y'all come over here and then fight against us. When we start going against white supremacy, y'all start going against us. Hey, nigga, how dare you talk about the white man? That white man does not do anything wrong. He gives us jobs and food. You know, y'all get on that type of thing. I'm not trying to beat up on you, but there's a reason why y'all ain't really trying to hook up with us against this white supremacist. You're glad to be out of your village. And thank God for white daddy for doing it. But we had to fight white daddy to make it happen. Let's keep it a buck, family. We're keeping it a buck tonight. There's a Stockholm syndrome there that ain't got nothing to do with them coming over here brainwashing you. The British brainwash you enough. If we're going to keep it 100, family, let's keep it real funky today. The British brainwash you. You dig? And we saw proof of that. The British brainwashing you. We saw proof this week in a massive scale. Remember when Queen Elizabeth died, I told y'all, man, all over Africa and the Caribbean, boy, they were showing out. They were having funeral processions. Look at this. This is Africa, guys. Look, they're walking around with signs commemorating her. Family, that's Stockholm syndrome right now, family. That is Stockholm syndrome. Hold on, look at this one dude. This was all over Africa, all over the Caribbean. This one dude, this Afro beats artist, this dude got a damn tattoo. What's his name? Naira Marley. He's an Afro beats artist. He got a tattoo of Queen Elizabeth on his hand. Look at this. Hold on.
Rest in peace, ma. Rest in peace, ma.
Family, that's Stockholm syndrome, fam. Don't blame the white people over here. The British got you. The British got you. And you'll have to come to terms with that. They colonized the hell out of your mind. They got you in here. They got you in here, man. Don't sit up and talk all that lazy akata. Oh, y'all, no. No, the British got you. The British got at you psychologically. The Stockholm syndrome is real. That's something that has to be dealt with internally. I'm not trying to beat up on y'all, but we have to talk real history and just acknowledge what's going on. And there's so many other videos of folks showing out in Africa and the Caribbean. I'm not going to even waste your time showing it. Over the death of Queen Elizabeth. These niggas are rolling around on dirt roads, crying. Oh my God, going off. I made a joke about what was going to happen last week, and all of it came true. They've been out here acting a damn fool. Over the woman who colonized them, the family who colonized them and drained all their resources and left them in squalor, and they're sitting up here, oh, God bless the Queen. Don't blame the white Americans here. The British got you. You see? So they played on something that was already there. So there's a jealousy thing there. Because y'all see us, foundational black Americans, and again, we're the only ones who are consistently fighting white supremacy. And because we fight oppression on a constant level, there's a certain level of respect that we particularly get. People have to respect that. A small group of people standing up for themselves against mighty empires. You have to respect that. So we're the face of black people worldwide, and a lot of people feel a certain way about that. That's why when we look at these conversations about hip-hop, whenever we talk about the hip-hop and who started hip-hop, if other groups can't glom onto it and claim it as their own, they will denigrate it. Let me give you an example. Now, DJ Academic, I got to get on this. I was just on Academic's show a month or so ago, and we had a conversation about who started hip-hop, and he was trying to attribute it to Jamaicans. And I had to break it down very intellectually that Jamaicans and damn sure Puerto Ricans had zero to do with the creation of hip-hop. Jamaican culture had absolutely nothing to do with hip-hop. Absolutely nothing. Kool Herc, who was Jamaican, was being more Americanized. He didn't bring anything from Jamaican culture over here to contribute to hip hop. Brother Kool Herc was doing what the foundational black Americans were over here doing. All this stuff about dance hall and toasting and all of that has been so clearly debunked. And now you have a lot of the originators, the original people who were there, saying the same thing. Hey, we weren't really influenced by Jamaicans and weren't no Puerto Ricans around us. This is what many of the foundation of hip hop, the people who are the foundation of hip hop, are coming out and saying, and they're telling the truth. So now that we're telling the truth about hip hop, I want y'all to listen to Academic, and I'm gonna have to holler at Academic about this. I got to go back on your show, Academic, because I know you're listening. Academic is starting to be disrespectful. He was like, well, hell, all of these founders. Hold on, I'm buffing here. Hold on, I'm buffering. Hold on. Let me stop buffering here. Hold on. But there we go, I'm back. So now, okay, hold on. So Academic, he was on a vibe like, well, Academic was like, well, some of these founders of hip hop, God, hold on, I'm waiting on it to stop buffering. Hold on. I hate when it does this at these hotels. There you go. So Academic is like, well, some of these founders, you look at all of these old niggas who are the founders of hip hop and all that, they all dusty now. Oh, these niggas are dusty. If you look at them, they dusty. So now that we're not allowing all of these groups to claim ownership and creative license of our culture, so now they want to denigrate it. All right? Now they want to denigrate it. Listen to Academic. This is Academic. Hold on. Listen to Ac. This is Academic. Hold on.
That's what it is. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Them old rappers, man, them niggas, bro, have you seen any of these old rappers who be like, yo, they're the foundation of hip hop, really living good? Them niggas be looking really dusty. I kid you not. And none of y'all trying to come for me because I don't fuck with y'all niggas either. So I'm just tell y'all the truth. Y'all be looking like, every time there be like an old nigga talking about hip hop, you be like, yo, bro, you sure you invented this? Because everybody else living better than you.
Okay. So Academic was like, yeah, these old niggas who say they invented hip hop, why they all looking dusty? So now they're dusty. All right, so now they're dusty. So now the founders of hip hop, now that we're not allowing other people to leech off of it, now they're dusty. Come on, Academics. You got to holler at me, Academics. Oh, we got to talk about this, Academics. We got to talk about it. Now, our good brother LL Cool J responded. Shout out to LL Cool J. LL Cool J responded to this. Let me find that clip of brother LL. LL has some very good talking points about this. All right. Y'all forgive me. I'm still buffering here, but let me get it. This is LL. LL, he chimed in. Hold on.
It came to my attention that a DJ, and I'm not going to say any names because I don't think it's necessary. A DJ basically said that, a lot of the pioneers in hip hop are, they're dusty, or how can they be the person that, invented hip hop if, they don't have a lot of money. Or if they don't look or represent like they have a lot of dough, right? Let me explain something to you and say this for you guys. Don't confuse someone's ability to develop a business model. Don't conflate. In other words, don't think just because somebody knows how to get money or fails to get money that they didn't make a contribution to the culture.
Right. Right.
No one discusses Miles Davis's bank account. We don't talk about John Coltrane's bank account. We don't talk about a lot of even rock musicians, a lot of them. We don't talk about their bank accounts. A lot of great country artists, we don't talk about their bank accounts. This idea that you have to have money or else you don't have any value is a bad idea, and it's kind of like it's a misinformed way of looking at.
Okay, so that's LL, and I agree. I agree, and I take it deeper. Again, that's all about not being able to latch on to the culture as a creator. So if you can't latch on as a creator, and I agree with LL 100%, but I'm taking it deeper. The narrative now is that if I can't claim it and own it, y'all dusty then. All y'all dusty, y'all don't get no money. So now it becomes a disrespect thing. And Brother Academic, you're eating off the culture that foundational Black Americans created. This is why we're pointing out your culture didn't create what we created because you don't have respect for it. You see, we have respect for the culture as foundational Black Americans to a certain degree. We have a respect for it because we know we created it. We know where it came from. We understand that the roots of hip hop comes from the South. The roots of hip hop comes from the South. Did not come from no damn Jamaica. And y'all know that. And now that we're telling the truth about it, again, people like stuff that we create as long as we can allow them to leech off of it and claim ownership of it. That's when they want to rock with it. The minute we gatekeep something, all of a sudden, well, it's garbage. All the y'all dusty and broke and whoop-de-whoop. If that's the case, and I'm talking to academics, if that's the case, the people who started reggae, are they dusty and ain't about shit because many of them are broke? The significance of Jamaican music? Because you have a lot of Jamaican artists who were legends over there, dusty and broke, right? So does that minimize Jamaican music? Huh? Would you say that about them, academic? You wouldn't say that about some of those artists over there who are dusty and broke. And they made phenomenal contributions to Jamaican music. You understand? Somebody in the chat room said, hell, what reggae artist ain't dusty? Somebody in the room said that. I'm not saying that. I'm trying to have more decorum. But they said, what artist ain't dusty over there in your homeland, my brother academics? You know you got to hit me up, academics. You know you got to hit me up. Some people will even say dust comes along with the culture over there as far as music. Some people would say that. You dig? Yeah, Bob Marley wasn't paid like that. You're not going to minimize Bob Marley. You dig? You got some of the top artists over there in jail, Bob's Cartel. You dig? Come on now. You wouldn't say anything negative about the artist over there. The reggae artists and the Jamaican artists over there. You wouldn't say nothing about them if they ain't got money like that. You dig? But when you come over here and get money based on our culture, turning around and saying the founders of that culture are just dusty because they ain't getting money. Well, there's always that group who paved the way, and that's the thing. We've always done this thing where we've had to sacrifice and pave the way for other people, then they turn around and be disrespectful. See, that has to be checked. That has to be checked, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm buffering, but y'all rock with me. Family. But family, this is why we're getting some straightening out. So when people have these disrespectful narratives, we're getting some straightening. We're cleaning a lot of that stuff up. We got to clean a lot of that stuff up. Speaking of people from immigrant backgrounds, y'all see the stuff going on with Tiffany Haddish now. And I think her dad was Eritrean and her mom was FBA. I think. There's some stuff going on with her. Y'all know they had some charges against her. Not charges, but a lawsuit. Because of a skit that her and Ari Spears did. There was a woman, a Jane Doe, I think one of the women who participated in the skit and her little brother, they did a skit about molestation, the eyes of a pedophile, and the people participating in it threw a lawsuit at them. And then they dropped the suit. So must have been some kind of out of court settlement. So the person who filed the suit dropped it and said, "Oh no, Tiffany Haddish is good, she's good," but the damage is done. The damage is done. So now Tiffany is saying, "Hey, damn, I lost all of my jobs because of this." I understand that, and I don't co-sign what they did. I don't co-sign that because this was a money grab. This was a money grab. Now listen. I'm not going to really co-sign that whole get down because it was a money grab. Yeah, they paid it. I don't like that for a few reasons. Number one, there are real situations where children are really being, molested. So we don't want to minimize that with people just trying to get a quick bag. You know what I'm saying? If something really happened, if you got traumatized and molested or whatever, that's something that should be fully prosecuted. That's something that you should take seriously. Throwing that out there for a bag, I'm not feeling that. Because there's situations where that's really valid. There's some real vile shit is happening to children. So I don't like minimizing that. What it was, this is my conjecture. Tiffany and Aries, they did that skit. The people, whoever was involved, the adults, they consented to having the kids in the skit. The skit was extremely unfunny and in bad taste. They should not have done it. Was it molestation? No. Wasn't molestation. They just did a very unfunny, tasteless skit. They were trying to be provocative. And that's something you don't really try to be provocative with. That topic is too serious and too touchy. Were they insensitive to doing that skit? Yes. But to label them as molesters? No. That's a bridge too far. I'm not co-signing that. I'm not co-signing. I'm not going to label them molesters. That's not cool. That's not cool. You understand? That's not cool. And the thing is, a lot of people, oh shit, it's raining. Okay, it's raining out here right now. Okay. So a lot of people, the thing is, man, it's not really about the kids because, again, if it was about the kids, they would be more adamant about them pressing charges. And again, they did a quick settlement and everything. Okay, all of a sudden, hey, Tiffany didn't do nothing to us. Oh, it was a real big misunderstanding. So that just shows it was a money grab. And a lot of people, there's a lot of black folks who just don't like Tiffany Haddish. Well, she ain't funny anyway. I'm glad, she lost her jobs and all of that stuff. I can't co-sign that. Man, I don't co-sign just hating, just for hating. The thing is, man, there's a lot of people who, when they see a black person come out the hood and kind of make it out the hood, they're like, okay, let me bring that black person down a peg. Let me bring them back down to my level. That's really what that's about. Let's keep it a buck. It ain't really about the kid. Yeah, the skit was extremely disgusting. Of course it was. But then it gets into this thing where you're using that as a vehicle to just throw the hate you already had. Yeah, I'm glad Tiffany Haddish lost her job. I'm glad her career's messed up. I'm glad. Why are you glad? You feel better because a person who made it out, they're back down there with you now. Yeah, even if you think, and I think some of her stuff is funny, and I think she was all right in the Girls Trip movie. I have no problem with Tiffany Haddish, but we got to get out this narrative where we got to bring some other black folks down a peg. That's really what that was about. And let me tell you something. I'll give you another example. Out there in Houston at the Turkey Leg Hut. And I can't even show the clip. Do y'all know, in Turkey Leg Hut, that's a black-owned business, very successful. They had a dress code there because so many people showing up there acting ratchet and dressed like stanks and all of that stuff. So they had a dress code. Do y'all know some big, wide-back mammy walked up in the Turkey Leg Hut butt naked. She took off her clothes, had somebody film her, supposed to be in protest of the dress code. She walked her fat ass up in there naked. And there were kids and family there. That type of stuff, y'all do that with black businesses in order to sabotage them, and that's not cool. That's not cool. That's mammy talk. You know, she had the blonde Bunny Ruckus wig. You dig? She had the blonde Bunny Ruckus wig on. So yeah, doing little stuff like that to sabotage black businesses is not cool. Not cool at all. Tacky as hell. Very, very tacky. You understand? That you wouldn't do that to a white business. You know not to go up in a white business butt naked. You know that. You know not to go up in a white. Yeah, man, y'all got to look it up. I can't even show you, man. In protest of the dress code, because the black folks who are running a legitimate good business, they're like, hey, why don't y'all come in here dressed like you got some sense? Don't come in here dressed with bonnets on and coochie cutting shorts. I mean, come on, this is a family business. So don't just come in here letting it all hang out just because we black. Show some respect to us like you show to the white businesses. You put on your Sunday's best to go up in many of the white businesses. So do the same for us. I respect that. You know? Yeah, when it comes to other black folks, don't be on this thing, well, I can just be ratchet with these black folks and they're supposed to let it happen. No. We raise the standards and elevate the standards when we do business with black people, when we patronize black people. You know? Yeah, of course it was clout chasing, but they had to use the excuse of, well, I did it in protest. No, it was just clout chasing. This was a chance for them to be an exhibitionist at the expense of a black business. Yeah? It was disrespect. Got to cut that nonsense out, man. When it comes to black businesses, all of a sudden everybody wants to get disrespectful. I know I'm buffering here, y'all. I hate when these hotels have these janky connections. Yeah. You know, I saw something where Kamala Harris, she was at some HBCU. Where was she? Kamala Harris was at an HBCU. How many people we got? We got a lot of people in here. Yeah, we got a lot of people in here. Okay, it's raining like a mug out here. But Kamala Harris was at an HBCU. What was this in South Carolina? Where was this HBCU? I forgot where it was. And boy, they were in there cutting a jig. But Kamala Harris, you know, they were in there just stepping and stomping. Okay, where was this? Hold on. Let me show y'all this. I don't know where this was, but it was at an HBCU. And boy, they were in there getting down. Okay. So had the white media in there. So I'm pretty sure some of the people up there at the college, some of the deans and some of the faculty said, hey, we need y'all to really show out. Oh, we need y'all to stomp the yard for Kamala to make it seem like black people love her. No, somebody else, South Carolina State. Okay, they're like, oh yeah, really do it up so that really show that y'all love her. Just have a plantation jubilee. Oh, they were stomping the yard. They're like, we want y'all to be real extra for Kamala Harris. All right. And we need those optics. We need young black people dancing around for Kamala Harris. Oh, y'all Greeks, get on out there and stomp it up. All right. That was for optics. That was trying to give the impression that there's some real. Yeah. The what? No, I'm good. All right. Okay. I'm like, who the hell is that? They're like, room down service? Okay. It's a beautiful hotel. They do a lot of, they come here and give you towels. Like, who the hell is this? But listen, let me tell y'all something. Listen. That was in Orangeburg, South Carolina. All right. Now, look, it's all right to have, look, it's okay to have fun. It's okay to have a good time and all that stuff. Nobody's knocking that. Somebody said, well, can black people live? Yes, you can. That's your alma mater? Okay. Listen, I want people to understand a lot of stuff that we do, a lot of FBA customs that we do. We need to understand the real reason for them. Now, I'm not knocking my brothers for stomping and stepping. I'm not knocking you. I'm not knocking you because I want y'all to understand. Do you know the history of stepping? Where my Greeks? We got any Greek fraternity brothers and sisters in here? Where the sorrows? Where the frats? Where the brothers and sisters who's in a fraternity or sorority? Where y'all at? Let me holler at y'all. Let's talk history for a minute. Let's talk history for a minute. We're gonna talk some history here. Raise your hand if you're in a fraternity, if you're in a sorority. Ladies, any sorrows in here? Where the ladies at? I used to love AKAs. I used to date a lot of AKAs. AKAs were known to be very fine women. I dated a bunch of AKAs back in my youth. AKAs were fine and low-key freaky. Used to love them AKA girls. When I was a kid, I was on them heavy. And I didn't even go to college. But listen, you're a Sigma. Y'all better you know the history of stomping and stepping? Y'all know the history of that? The history of that comes out of the Maroons and the rebel slaves. Y'all know that? The history of stomping, stepping? That comes from the Maroons and rebellious slaves. I want y'all to know your history, family. And I'm out here in Atlanta. Got the HBCUs out here. I want y'all to understand your history. That step dancing, that comes from foundational black Americans in slavery rebelling. Do y'all know that? A lot of y'all did not know that. Family, in the Carolina area, the Carolinas, 1730s, around that time, there was a big rebellion, a very significant rebellion called the Stono Rebellion. Let me give y'all some history here. You had the Stono Rebellion. These black people were leaving the plantations, getting with the Maroons, and they were killing the white supremacists. They were going up and down that coast. They were trying to get to Florida, but they were slaughtering some of these white supremacists. And what they were doing, they were using drums at the Stoner Rebellion. They were using those drums to signal to other foundational black Americans who were enslaved, hey, the rebel is on, the rebellion is on. So they were hitting them drums, sending messages, and other people were joining the Stoner Rebellion. All right? The drums were a major tool. That scared the hell out of the white supremacists. They ultimately suppressed the uprising. And then the white supremacists had to say, hey, man, what the hell? What was that? How'd these niggas rise up on us like that? They were like them damn drums. They were using those drums to communicate with each other. They're like, hey, ban them drums. So they banned those drums from that area. They banned the drums. These niggas cannot have drums out here. No drums, because y'all not going to sit up here and communicate messages to each other, to rise up and all that. Damn them drums. All right? So because they didn't have drums, our foundational black American family, being innovative and creative as they are, they started to use their bodies as drums, as substitutes. They would use their bodies as substitutes. So they would create dances, okay? Because the white supremacists knew that black folks, they like to dance in order to relieve stress. So they didn't have a problem with them dancing. In fact, the white supremacists were entertained by the dances. So our family learned how to convey messages through dancing. And they would use dances, and one dance called the Patent Juba. It was a Juba dance. And they would stomp and then pat their bodies to send messages to each other. Are y'all feeling me? So they would stomp like a drum, stomp like a drum. And they would send messages to each other. And you get a bunch of people stomping and patting. That gets loud, and other people can hear that on plantations. Like, hey, boom, boom. You dig? So you're sending messages to people. These were the rebel Maroons sending military codes to a certain degree. this is why when you look at brothers at the colleges who are stepping, there's almost a militaristic vibe to it, right? Look at it. Look at our brothers stepping. Go to them step shows. Them brothers and sisters be getting down. And there's a militaristic vibe to it to a certain degree. You got somebody calling something out. There's a militaristic vibe. That's where it comes from. You understand? And some of those hand pats and all of that stuff, it was called Juba. Then it was called Patent Juba. They later started calling it ham bone and then rhyming to it. Ham bone, have you heard? Military. Sounds like military orders. Mama gonna buy your mockingbird. Sound off. 1, 2. See, those military, it's a military type of thing. You see? Almost like Morse code, real talk. Almost like Morse code. So that Juba evolved into the stepping that we see some of the brothers and sisters do today. You understand? So this is why we have to know the history. We got to know the history of that. It's a very lustrous history, man. It's a wonderful history. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that, just as long as we know the history of it. What our foundational Black American family members did and why they did it. It's an incredible history. So that's not Greek. We say, well, the Greeks. No. That's foundational Black American ingenuity, man. We have to understand how phenomenal our people were. See, we created all that stuff with Juba. A lot of dances came out of that. The Juba dance, tap dancing, brothers tap dancing because they were on the plantations with some of these Irish overseers, and they were doing that in some river dance type of thing, and they were mixing that in with some of those old African moves. So it meshed together, and they started sending messages with the Juba and the tap dancing. One of the biggest entertainers, Black entertainers in the mid 1800s was a dude named King Juba, who toured around the world as a Juba dancer / tap dancer. You dig? He was phenomenal. And he was so phenomenal, he ended up working for the circus, Ringling Brothers Circus. They brought him in. Well, Barnum and Bailey Circus, P.T. Barnum got him. And what they would do, because they would have him on minstrel shows, he was a black man, they would paint his face black because they only like white people imitating black people. So a black man imitating himself, they had to make it seem like he was really a white man imitating a black man at first. But then he got so good and he got so in demand, he was able to perform without having to put blackface on. And he became one of the world's biggest Juba dancers / tap dancers. You dig? But the thing is, with the patent Juba and the ham bone and all that, again, these are other seeds of hip hop, by the way, too, if you want to talk about what's going on. Somebody said not all of our culture comes from the plantation. Most of it did. Yes, it did. A lot of it was cultivated on the plantations. You did? Yes, it was. We created a lot of stuff based on necessity. You dig? People like to attribute a lot of stuff we do, well, that comes from Africa, but the thing is we do it so differently. We do a whole different version of it. Over here, again, we had to play the drums with our bodies and send messages because of the situation we were in. You dig? We had to create a lot of stuff based on the subjugation. We had to create a lot of stuff based on how we were subjugated. In order to make our lives easier for survival, we had to create a lot of stuff. We had to create certain songs in order to convey messages. Remember, gospel songs and the way we sing them, singing from the diaphragm and as loud as we're singing them, remember, we were sending coded messages with gospel songs. You see, we sang very loud with a lot of passion, and the white supremacists said, oh, look at that Negro, he's so emotional. No, we're trying to tell somebody on another plantation what the business is. Swing low. Yeah. Swing low. We're saying something to somebody. We're trying to send a message. So we had to cultivate different cultures based on our circumstances. You see? Yeah, many of our dance. Yeah, real talk. So a lot of our dances were war dances, man. A lot of our dances were war dances. Yeah? Just like capoeira. When you think of capoeira, even though it comes out of Angola, you don't really put it on Angola. You put it on the Brazilians. Yeah, we can say some of the root, which is true, the root of capoeira comes out of Angola. But when it got to Brazil, it took on another form, a more rhythmic form, because they had to disguise it as dancing. So when you talk about capoeira, you put it on Brazil. That's Brazilian culture. Capoeira is Brazilian culture, even though it is rooted out of Angola. Because they were bringing in enslaved people from Angola, and they were using some of those capoeira martial art techniques on the Portuguese. So they banned that. So they had to use another form of capoeira. They had to make it more rhythmic. They had to play drums and they had to dance. They had to do these moves. They had to do a little boogie and then drop down and do a kick, so that the white supremacists wouldn't know what they were doing. So our circumstances had us create certain things out of necessity. Yeah? So yeah, we just got to understand history. We got to understand history. A lot of stuff that we do, it came out of us here. Stuff that we were creating on the plantations. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's what it is. That's history. That's what makes us so unique. And I have no problem paying homage to our foundational Black American mothers and fathers who sacrificed and created these things so that we could survive. They created all of these different cultures so that we could survive. I have no problem giving props to the brothers and sisters on that plantation. We got this thing where we do not give props to our foundational Black American brothers and sisters who suffered and survived on those plantations. We got to give all of the positive attributes to somewhere in Africa. I'm giving those attributes to the FBA brothers and sisters who cultivated these cultures and gave it to us so that we could be safe. They created these things for us, even the Tut language. It was illegal to teach Black people to read over here. So they created their own language where they would speak to each other. The white supremacists thought it was gibberish, but it was an ingenious way for them to communicate with each other. We always had to use coded messages and coded ways to communicate because we understood that we were in a state of warfare. We understood warfare, so we were using covert warfare tactics, ladies and gentlemen. Always pay homage and remember where we got our shit from. We got it from our FBA mothers and fathers, man, and give them the props that they're supposed to get. I'm not going to ignore our family. They were phenomenal people coming up with some of these ingenious techniques in order for us to survive. You understand? See, a lot of this stuff we got to put in the museum too. This is why the museum is important. A lot of this stuff we're going to put in the museum. This is what they're not teaching you at the African American History Museum. And I'm going to be in D.C. next month, by the way. I have so many interviews. Oh, man, I got a gang of interviews next month. You did? So, yeah, man, we're paying homage. And we're showing respect to our FBA forefathers who put it down for us and gave us the game and gave the world the game. Because, again, the world soaks up game from what we do, from our foundational Black American culture. Everybody soaks it up, man. That's what it is. It is what it is. All right. Anyway, y'all, let me get up out of here because I'm about to get me some of this soul food somewhere around here. But anyway, man, I think we had a pretty good conversation. Again, the internet connection is a little janky here. And I might go on Twitter live a little bit later, so on the Twitter space. You dig? So anyway, man, y'all be good, man. I'll talk to y'all later on. Papi Akute and Lola Vuve to the family.